Hey everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you guys are watching. So obviously having some severe weather here in Southeast Louisiana. I've already prayed over the connection and the power and just praying the Lord keeps it going so I can get this information to you guys. So welcome back everybody. My name is Samantha. I'm the owner operator of a 2-acre farmstead located here in Southeast Louisiana. And I want to share some information with you guys. Good morning. So, the abomination of desolation. What is that? How do we know when Jesus is talking about the end times that we're there? Well, today I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to show you that we are technically either in the end times or moving very quickly towards it. So I just want to tell you things we're going to go over is the lawlessness, right? The police state, how AI is becoming their tool to track us and to control us. And they're even treating it like it's a godhead. So real quick, for you guys that get our newsletter and our Zoom links, do not forget we will be Zooming at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time tonight, which is Saturday, July 26th. If you'd like to join us on that, you've never have before, at the end of the live, look at the top of comments. It'll explain to you how to do so. Next, I want you guys to understand that Jesus told us this was going to happen, and he gave us what I call a blueprint, what to look for. How do we know that we're moving into these end times? And let me read you the words of our Lord and Savior himself. All right, so this is found in Matthew 24, verses 3 through 31. So real quick. Now, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming at the end of the age?" And Jesus said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you." So the first thing Jesus mentions is probably the most important. Do not be deceived. All right. Number 2, for many will come in my name saying, "I am the Christ," and they will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, which, we all hear that, right? See that you are not troubled. So now he's saying, you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. Don't let that bother you. Don't be troubled by that. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All of these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Now, I want to stop here and I want to point out something to you guys. What is happening across the Western world right now? We have an influx of radical Islamists in every Western nation. If you go look at Ireland, go look at Europe, England, Italy, Spain, folks, those countries are not even recognizable as Christian any longer. They have been flooded with Muslims. And it says, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. He said all nations, not some. All nations will turn on Christians in the end times. And the many will be offended. I tell you guys this all the time. Stop being offended. The spirit of offense is from Satan. So if I'm discussing a topic or raising your awareness about something or trying to give you information and your first response is, I am offended, that's the Antichrist spirit. It's literally in the Bible. Jesus himself in Matthew says, he literally says, and the many will be offended. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. So we see that so much in today's world. Exactly, Miss Diane. This is the beginning of the sorrows. If I do a video about any topic, someone wants to disagree, they immediately become offended. And their hatred of the information I'm trying to share spews out of their mouth and onto the screen. It happens every single day. It says, then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end will come. Now there's more, because the next thing that Jesus says is, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand. Then let loose those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house. And let him who is in the field not go back to get his clothes. Today we're going to talk about the desolation, the abomination of desolation. But the first thing I must remind you guys of, you had better start being extremely careful to whom you are listening to. Yesterday, as I was researching for the two videos, the two lives that I did, I noticed that some of the biggest, platforms were spewing nonsense. One of the things, I'm not even going to say who it was, but one of the people I heard, I just clicked on the video real quick, goes, well, why can't we say what we want about people? Why can't you have freedom of speech? You just say whatever you want about anybody. That's your right. Well, legally, it may be your right, but morally, the Bible tells you not to go there, right? To not bear false witness, to not be a gossiper, a idle gossiper, a malicious defamer is what God says. Don't do it. It's pointless. And then there are Christians who, when you cover a topic that they're uncomfortable with or offends them, the spirit of offense, they become the malicious defamers. And I am warning you now, those types of people will be the ones that fall away because they do not have a true understanding of the Bible or of Jesus himself. And folks, the longer that I do what the Lord has me to do, the more afraid I become for people. Hello, Kelly. I'm so worried for the human race. People have no control of their emotions. None. The ability to have a conversation is over. You cannot discuss topics with people because they immediately become what? The spirit of offense takes them over. And that's it. You can't have a conversation because they cannot even hear what you're saying because they are so offended. They are so offended. Like, I'm offended for this person. I'm offended that you thought you would talk about this. Like, the childish mindset is so baffling to me. They won't even research what they believe they believe. It's terrifying. For me, as a child of God, to look at people that claim that they are my brothers and sisters and to realize that they are not. Yet, you can't show them that because they want their ears tickled, right? They want to hear everything that has gone wrong in their life is someone else's fault. They want to believe that everybody that has money must be evil. They want to believe that every system has been set up to destroy them. They need to believe that there is somebody other than themselves that they can hold accountable for the mistakes in their own life. Yet the same people that have that need to be able to blame somebody else will be the first people that tell you that you're a piece of crap for whatever mistake you've ever made in your life. So it's this weird, I don't know. I know a lot of you are understanding what I'm saying because I'm reading your comments. I know that you're seeing what I'm seeing with this destruction of humans' ability to process information outside of how they feel. So my concern is these types of people will sit on juries. These type of people claim to be attorneys and doctors. Yet, how can you be an attorney or sit on a jury if you can't turn off your emotions and look at evidence? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it is a very concerning. I can see the abomination of desolation coming because first, lawlessness must happen, right? It must happen. Lawlessness must happen. So how do you get lawlessness? Well, people stop believing that people should be held accountable for breaking the law because of how they feel. You're seeing that right now with everything that's happening at the border. People don't care about the sovereignty of their country, about human trafficking, about drugs or guns or the children that are missing, because all they care about is that they heard this woman crying on the internet that her husband was taken by ICE. Absolutely, Nadia. Hate is everywhere. That is everybody's go-to. That, and people love to say this, you're jealous. You're jealous. Like that spirit of envy and jealous, it's all over people. So what do? They mirror it because they live within those spirits of offense and jealousy and envy. They assume that any time that you're pointing something out, that you too must carry those same spirits. So it's a very concerning time that we live in spiritually because people are basically the minds of children. The way they process information, the way they handle being told something, they are like children. And when I go watch some of these more popular platforms, they speak to you like you're children. They talk very slow. And then the words they use are very small. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, they understand that the people that are going to follow them right off the cliff can't handle a deep conversation without becoming offended. And it's worrisome. It's very worrisome on my part. Watching it happen truly hurts my heart. So let me show you an example of what's happening in our country right now and how people let their emotions get the better of them. Watch this.
Very good daughter. A father killing his own wife, 33-year-old Jamir Bravo, and his 14-year-old daughter, Georgina Valicios, and his own son, 8-year-old Juliano Valicios.
This is just horrible. I mean, how could you do that to your own family?
We know that an accelerant was used inside the residence to rapidly spread the fire throughout the house.
Police say the evidence of the father's intentions came from his own daughter, who escaped the burning home out the back, only to lose her life from her severe burns.
Investigators received statements from the juvenile female before her passing, which pointed investigators in the direction of believing the father was the person who caused the fire.
The family had come to America for a better life, but sadly, police say they did come to the home once for a domestic violence call. Hamir's family says she was too scared to report her husband for fear of being deported.
She didn't want to be deported. She better future for her kids, for her family, and didn't want to be to a trauma for her kids.
And back here live.
Okay, so you heard that. The police had already gone to the home for domestic abuse. The father burned the house down with the wife and children in it. They're all dead. The wife didn't want to call the police because she's here in America illegally and did not want to be deported. She wanted to give her children a chance at a better life, and now they're all dead. Do you see how breaking the laws of the land will never, ever benefit you? But most people will see this video and they will think, well, this is why we need to abolish ICE, because those people would be alive. Well, now they're talking about sending the wife and the children's bodies back to Venezuela to be buried in their home country. Am I the only person that's like, what? Like, you broke the law to get here. And because you broke the law to get here, you opened yourself up to everything else that happened afterwards because you couldn't use the law to protect yourself. We cannot allow what is happening in our country to continue because it is ushering in the man of lawlessness, which is one of the names given to the Antichrist. All right. So that's why I wanted to show that
lawsuit where Robert should.
Okay. So what are the signs of the end times? We're living in a police state and in a lawless state where our elected officials are breaking the law. Personally, this is my personal opinion. I believe that if you are not born and raised in America by two legal parents that are American, you should hold no office in this country. Not a local, not a city, not a parish or county, not a state, not a federal. You should be able to hold no positions of power. Period. Not the tax assessor, not the sheriff, not a sheriff's deputy. You should not be a judge. You should not sit in Congress. You should not be a governor. You should not be a mayor. You should not be on the police jury. Abso-flippin' lutely not. And I'm going to give you the best example that I can. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it?
Find her.
Nope.
Cars in front of her.
With breaking news from Tahunga, federal authorities
Nope,
have
that's
served
not it
search
either.
warrants at a home.
Let me find it for you guys. Sorry. I've got so much in my phone. Where did I find that? There was in New Mexico a sheriff and a city councilor, all of them with Hispanic names, were arrested on a federal indictment for running guns back to Mexico. So I've got to find that for y'all. I don't know where it is. I thought I may have accidentally deleted it. So anyway, that's going on in New Mexico. They were buying guns. The sheriff using city funds, taking these guns down to Mexico and arming the gangs. Okay. Now, the next thing that we have a police state. In other words, we have surveillance information all around us. Now, I saw this case yesterday. The police didn't do it, but the criminals did. And I want you to be aware of this, especially women. Especially women. Nope, that's not the right one. Let me find it real quick. This lady was driving down the road and she heard a thunk on her car. And whenever she went to check it,
Find her or showing her face to help keep her safe.
I heard a loud noise hit my car, like a rock or a brick or something.
This Cleveland woman didn't give it much thought and kept driving. It wasn't until she was getting ready for bed after the fireworks on the night of the 4th of July that she noticed something unusual.
I heard a car pull up in front of my driveway. I looked out the window, and it was a female and a male approaching my porch.
After seeing 2 additional cars in front of her home, the woman called her brother, who was a Kirtland police officer.
She opened up the bedroom window from the 2nd floor and asked them what was going on, and they began to tell her that my sister had their cell phone. My sister began, told him, I don't know who you are. I don't have your cell phone.
But the pair was persistent.
The couple told her, well, we called the police. The police are en route. You need to give us the cell phone.
Their tune changed when the woman grabbed her phone to call 911.
The couple didn't put up an argument about the phone. They weren't really concerned anymore. They just said, let's just go. And they got in the car. All 3 vehicles left.
3 vehicles.
The next morning,
I got out and looked at my car, and it was a cell phone attached.
police tell us this latest scheme involves criminals attaching a cell phone to the roof of newer model vehicles with a magnet. They use the device's location tracker to find their target's home.
Before you know it, they're either trying to come in and do a home invasion, or they try to, carjack you and take your car.
Right now, police continue to investigate. The woman did turn over Ring doorbell video to possibly identify the individuals. Cleveland police are working on that right now. Meantime, police are encouraging all of us.
So again, she's driving her car and she hears thought maybe a rock hit it. Goes home late in the evening, 3 vehicles pull up. And the woman with the man approaches the doorbell camera. You've got our phone. We tracked it here. And she's like, calls her brother, who's a police officer. He tells her what to do. She calls the police. They leave. Goes out the next morning. There's a cell phone magnetically attached to the roof of her car. So it's much like when they're putting those air tags on people's vehicles and they're tracking them. So we're seeing this Grok 4, this AI that literally can, it is the highest PhD in all fields: medicine, aeroscience, chemistry, math, all of it, right? It's brilliant. And then it can compute in a way humans can't. We're seeing those things speed up. Now, I want to remind you guys that Jesus says that time, remember I was reading from Matthew, so let me go back to that for y'all real quick, because I think y'all need to hear this real quick, what God says. He goes, in Matthew 3, verse 19, but woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as not been seen since the beginning of the world until this time, nor ever will be again. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. So you can take that 2 ways. That God will speed the end time up per se, or that actual time is being shortened. So it is provable, do your own research, that right now, time is speeding up. So if time is actually speeding up, it means the days will be shortened. Come on, Jesus. Come on, you guys. He's so good to us. He gives it all to us. It is like right in front of our faces. And now science is proving what our Lord and Savior said. The days will be shortened. Why? So that you and I can survive what's coming. Then it goes on to say, then if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, or there, Do not believe it. For false Christ and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive. If possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. I listen to some of these platforms and I listen to those silver tongues. I listen to how close they are to the truth. And then I watch them weave their lies. And I'm like, oh my Lord. They are false prophets. There's no other word for it because Jesus said that people who do this are false prophets. Jerry Brown, the no smoking day. That sounds familiar. Sounds familiar, friend. Therefore, if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go. Or look, he's in the inner room, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. In other words, it'll be like that. He won't be in the inner room. He won't be walking in the desert. For wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. Let that be a warning. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Folks, what is the biggest new thing they're trying to do with the sun right now? What is Gil Bates trying to do? Swap those first letters. What's he trying to do? Reflect the sun's light back at itself. The science is going to prove the Bible in the end. It's going to prove it. Actually, abomination has not. And I'm going to discuss that in a second. Now, the next thing that we know that we're moving into the end times, folks, is the Nephilims, the Nephilim are rising. In other words, you are seeing this Antichrist system fall in place. You're seeing the satanic sex rituals. You're seeing the kidnapping of the children. You're having people coming forward talking about mind control. That's all part of the Nephilim, of that demonic other, the shadow government, right? All that's coming out. So you're seeing that knowledge becoming prevalent. The next thing that you know is the anti-Jew rhetoric. The Hitler spirit is rising. I call it that because it has popped up throughout history multiple times. In the Bible, John tells us that there are like small a Antichrist, and that they will pop up throughout history over and over and over again. That spirit is rising. It's rising. Okay. How do I know? I can just listen. I can turn on the radio and I can hear young people claiming the Jews deserved to die. I can hear podcasters saying that Christians have taken the place of the Jewish people because they turned their back on Jesus. Like, that is all from hell. Like, I'm going, oh my Lord. Like, wow. The Hitler spirit is back. It's back. And my mom is 82, and I was telling her these things that I've heard people say on, these platforms. And y'all, my mother goes, oh my gosh, Samantha. She said, your father and I thought we would never have to see this again. She said, I thought we would never have to see this again. And I was like, really? And she goes, yes. She said, all that stuff that Hitler did to those Jews, Samantha, it was horrific. See, my parents were born at the end of that. So they have a knowledge, 82 and 83 years of knowledge that you and I don't have. We don't understand and see it the way that that generation does that actually was born into it or right after it. And the Hitler spirit is back. I'll give you an example that chilled me. When I heard the way that these young people laughed and joked and was like, ha, 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 kill the Jews, you know, and I was like, good God.
I'm with you on that one.
Okay.
That's why, like, that was up to something, so the Germans wanted to take them out. Like, it had to be something, like, Germans wanted to take them out, all of them out. So they started it. So get somebody like, yeah, talk about them. The Holocaust was the only way he can take out a huge population, like a huge amount of Jews all in one setting. But I already know what's going on. Like, I'm not dumb. Like, I know, like, the Jews did something. That's why they sent up here. They're trying to take back, like, they're trying to take back and get repercussions, especially from America, like, from Americans. So they're taking over the government and stuff like that.
I'm telling you, how do we take them down?
How do we take them down?
Yeah.
I mean, I had to say it. My bad, y'all. My bad. Hitler, he had the plan, but his plan was just too, like, very, like, gruesome, if you can say it.
Listen, he had to do what he had to do.
But he had to do it. He was like,
he was trying to save the world.
I agree.
It didn't work out. He just did
I mean, Jews are the reason why the healthcare system and everything around us in the government is collapsing, because they're sitting up here stealing away from the American people.
Activist Tal Oren joins us now. Now, before I let you respond, my brother, as a non-Jewish Gentile follower of Yeshua, let me first say this to my friend here watching. This is our canary in the coal mine moment. This should be setting off all the alarm bells in our mind. We said never again. We said that this would not happen on our watch. It's happening right now. Our Jewish friends and brothers and sisters all over the world are being harassed, being targeted, being attacked, being ostracized. This is incumbent upon all non-Jewish people, which I'm obviously one of, to stand up and do something. This is not okay. Not sure